Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Kristen and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Oreo dirt pudding. It is a classic and everyone always loves this. So start off, what you'll need is a party size of Oreos or double stuffed. Either works just fine. You'll then need 2 containers of Cool Whip, 1 stick of butter, salted, 2 packages of instant Jell-O. I use white chocolate, but you can use really a variety of things. You'll also need some milk. In my store, it was out of cream cheese, but you will also need 8 ounces of cream cheese. If your store doesn't have it, that's okay. You'll see today how to make it without. So you're going to start off by putting half of your Oreos in a Ziploc bag. I already put my first half in a bag. The reason I do this is because when you're crunching up your Oreos, it helps them not to burst out of the bags. I've just learned my lesson one too many times, and splitting up your Oreos will definitely make it an easier process. So once you have half of your Oreos in each bag, you're just going to start crunching them up as best as you can. They don't have to be super fine, just, it's just small pieces that will be easy to make a crust, but they do not have to be super fine, just small enough. Okay, so next what you're going to want to do is grab your baking dish. I always use a 9x13, and then you are going to dump 1.5 of your bags into the baking dish. This is going to be your crust. The half of your second bag is going to be used for the top of your Oreo dirt pudding, so make sure you leave at least half of that second bag. Then you are going to take your stick of melted butter and just pour that directly over the Oreo pieces. This is going to help make it a thicker crust at the bottom. So after you've poured that in, you're just going to make sure to coat all the Oreo pieces as best as you can. Once you have coated all your Oreo pieces with the butter, you're just going to want to spread it all out evenly across the pan to kind of make that crust. Just make sure it's even and as flat as you can make it. Okay, after you get your crust all ready to go, your next step is going to be making the pudding. You want to do this step just because you will have to put it in the fridge and it will give you enough time for it to thicken up so you can work on other parts of this dish. You're just going to use those 2 packs, put it both in the bowl, and then I always use 3.5 cups or 3 3/4 cups of milk instead of the full 4 that it says to use on the packages. So I always just stick with 3.5 to 3 3/4. After you have dumped in all of your milk, you're going to want to whisk the pudding mix. Make sure you use a whisk. Don't use a spatula or wooden spoon or anything like that. Just it works better with the whisk. So make sure you mix that all up and there is no powder left. You will start to notice it to thicken up. And then once you have combined it all, you are going to take your bowl and stick it in the fridge while you work on your next step. Alright, for your next layer, this is where I didn't have my cream cheese, so you would make sure 8 ounces of cream cheese with the Cool Whip and combine it. But since my store did not have that, I'm just going to use just Cool Whip for my next layer. I always set it out far in advance to kind of let it unthaw and make it more spreadable. So I always give it a good stir before I dump it in. But once you feel like it is spreadable, you can start dumping that onto your crust and start spreading it out. Alright, once you have your Cool Whip and cream cheese mixture spread out, what you're going to do is grab your pudding from your fridge, give it a little stir to see the consistency of it, make sure it has thickened up, and then once you have given it a good stir, you're just going to start dumping that on your Cool Whip layer and just start spreading that over top pretty evenly, just as even as you can. Okay, so once you have your pudding spread out, you're going to take your second container of Cool Whip, give it a good stir, make sure it is the consistency to be spreadable, and then go ahead and dump that right on top of your pudding and just spread it out again as evenly as you can. Once you have finished spreading your second container of Cool Whip, you're going to grab your half of your second bag of Oreos and just start dumping that on top. There's no rhyme or reason, just make it look like dirt. And once you have completed that, you are finished. Alright, there you have it. There is your Oreo dirt pudding in all of its layers. Once you have finished dumping all of your Oreos on the top, you are going to then take some foil or a lid to your dish, cover it up, wrap it up, and then you are going to stick it in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours before serving. I hope this was helpful and easy to follow. I will put the recipe in all the directions down below. Thank you for watching.